Dub Nation, this is devastating. The Warriors just suffered one of the darkest days in franchise history, and nobody saw this coming. After a brutal loss that shook the entire organization, questions are now swirling about the team's future. Is this the end of an era? With Jimmy Butler trade rumors heating up and Klay Thompson's future in doubt, the Warriors are at a major crossroads. Steph Curry is doing everything he can, but is it enough? Could this loss force the front office to make drastic changes? The Warriors' season might be hanging by a thread, and we need to talk about it. Stay tuned for the full breakdown. This changes everything. Dub Nation, this is heartbreaking. The Golden State Warriors just suffered one of the darkest days in franchise history, and fans are absolutely stunned. After a devastating loss that shook the entire organization, questions are being raised about the future of this team. What went wrong? How did it come to this? And most importantly, where do the Warriors go from here? This was supposed to be a season of redemption, a year where the Warriors bounced back and proved they were still championship contenders. With Steph Curry still playing at an elite level, Draymond Green leading the defense, and Klay Thompson looking to regain his form, hopes were high. Add in the possibility of Jimmy Butler joining the squad, and it seemed like the Warriors were on the verge of something special. But then, this disastrous loss happened, and now the entire franchise is at a crossroads. Let's break it all down, because this wasn't just any loss, this was a game that exposed major flaws in the Warriors' roster, coaching decisions, and overall direction. The game started with high energy, as the Warriors came out looking locked in, moving the ball well, and hitting shots early. But then, everything started to fall apart. Defensive breakdowns, turnovers, missed shots, and a complete lack of urgency allowed their opponents to take control of the game. By the second half, it was clear the Warriors were in serious trouble. The body language on the bench told the whole story. Curry was frustrated, Klay looked defeated, and even Draymond, known for his fire and leadership, seemed lost for answers. This was not the Warriors team we've known for years, the one that always found a way to fight back no matter the situation. Instead, this felt like a team running out of answers. And now, the conversation shifts to what happens next. With Jimmy Butler rumored to be in trade discussions, would adding a star like him fix these issues, or is the problem much deeper? Butler is a proven playoff performer, a two-way star who could bring toughness and leadership to this squad. But would the Warriors be willing to give up young assets like Jonathan Kuminga or Moses Moody to get him? And then there's Klay Thompson. A Warriors legend, a key piece of the dynasty, but also a player facing serious questions about his future. After 2 devastating injuries, he's struggled with consistency, and there have been rumors that this might be his last season in Golden State. Watching him in this game, you could feel the frustration, the weight of everything he's been through. Does Klay still have one last championship run in him, or are we seeing the end of an era? Even Steve Kerr has to be feeling the pressure right now. For years, he's been able to adapt and adjust, finding ways to keep the Warriors at the top. But in this game, the coaching staff had no answers. The rotations were questionable, the defensive schemes weren't working, and the energy from the team just wasn't there. If the Warriors continue to struggle like this, could we see major changes in the coaching staff as well? And let's not forget about ownership and the front office. Joe Lacob and Mike Dunleavy Jr. have been clear about their vision. They want to win now while also developing for the future. But after this loss, they have to be asking themselves, is this roster really built to compete? Can they afford to be patient, or is it time to go all in on another star to help Curry? One of the biggest concerns after this darkest day is how it will affect the team's confidence and chemistry moving forward. A loss like this doesn't just hurt in the standings, it can create doubts in the locker room. Players start questioning the system, questioning each other, and if the Warriors aren't careful, this could be the moment that defines their season in the worst way possible. But here's the thing, it's not over yet. Yes, this was a brutal, heartbreaking loss, but the Warriors still have time to turn things around. This team has been through adversity before, and if there's any squad that knows how to rise from the ashes, it's this one. But it won't be easy. Changes need to be made. Adjustments have to happen. And most importantly, the team needs to find its identity again. So, what do you think, Dub Nation? Is this just a rough patch, or are we witnessing the beginning of the end for the Warriors as we know them? This loss wasn't just about one bad game, it was a sign of something much bigger. For years, the Warriors have been one of the most dominant franchises in the NBA, built on elite shooting, ball movement, and a championship culture. But now, things feel different. The league has evolved, the competition has gotten tougher, and this team is struggling to keep up. The biggest question is, how do the Warriors move forward? Some believe the team needs to go all in and make a blockbuster move for a star like Jimmy Butler. Butler is a proven winner, an elite two-way player who brings toughness, leadership, and playoff experience. He has shown time and time again that he elevates his game when it matters most. If the Warriors were to trade for him, they would get a player who could immediately take pressure off Curry while bringing a defensive intensity that this team desperately needs. But making a move like that comes at a cost. The front office would likely have to part ways with young assets like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, or even Brandon Podziemski. These are players that could be a huge part of the Warriors' future, and trading them away could mean sacrificing long-term success for a short-term championship push. Would that be worth it? Then there's the Klay Thompson situation. Klay is a Warriors legend, a core member of this dynasty, and one of the greatest shooters in NBA history. But after his devastating injuries, it's clear that he's not the same player he once was. His defensive impact has declined, and his shooting has been inconsistent at times. Watching him in this recent game, you could see the frustration on his face. He wants to be great again, he wants to help this team win, but the reality is, time is catching up to him. So, should the Warriors keep him no matter what, out of loyalty and respect for what he's done for the franchise? Or should they have a tough conversation about his future and consider moving on if it means giving the team a better shot at competing for another title? It's an impossible decision, one that could define the next era of Warriors basketball. And what about Steph Curry? He's still playing at an MVP level, giving everything he has every single night. But how much longer can he carry this team? He needs help, and if the Warriors don't make a move soon, they could be wasting the last few elite years of his career. The Warriors front office has some serious decisions to make, and time is running out. Should they trust their young core, develop players like Kuminga and Podziemski, and hope they grow into stars? Or should they go all in on another superstar and try to win now? Dub Nation, we need to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What's the best move for the Warriors right now? Should they make a blockbuster trade, or should they trust in their current roster? Is this loss just a rough patch, or is the dynasty finally